do some shoulder work, some soft tissue work here. And I just like to go into this posterior capsule and just kind of feel for ropiness in here. You could find these areas that feel a little bit like tight guitar strings and just do some transverse friction on them, a little bit of deep pressure inhibition through some of these muscles like the posterior deltoid right here. You probably feel that a little bit there, but your shoulder's actually in pretty good shape. But just getting in and doing the deep pressure inhibition through the posterior shoulder. This is a place that you can get into the bicep tendons a little bit as well. If you feel that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't do it with them supine, sometimes this is an area where it's a little bit more tolerable to get in there. So that's just kind of a form of transverse friction massage. Kind of feels good. So from here, we kind of just glossed over the grafts and stuff, and definitely watch the videos we've already established for that. I just don't recall there being any on the shoulder, and so just kind of want to go through a little bit of that more specifically here. So I have just a little bit of lotion, have the bevel side down, and then from here we're just going to work that. You notice how I'm always stabilizing the person with the other arm? If you don't, they tend to move all over the place. So you want to stabilize the person and just work that in different angles. This is the more shallow, superficial approach here. And this is really, you could follow tension all the way down. We'd mentioned doing this on the front of the shoulder too. That might be a little tougher to get to over here, but that's getting more of that bicep area. You can even work into this upper trap here a little bit, but the upper trap I prefer to do with them seated. This, I'm going to flip this around so that the bevel side is down now instead of up, and just work that a little bit deeper. Does that feel a little different, Tina?
Yeah, it feels different.
Can you tolerate that okay? Is it a little uncomfortable?
It's not too bad. It's about an 8.
About an 8, good. And that's a good response, to prompt out of the patient. Between 0 and 10, if 10 is just too uncomfortable for me to continue, how much discomfort is this causing? And an 8 is an aggressive treatment. If the person is kind of gun-ho and on board for an aggressive treatment, then you can go forward with that, but just gauge that on the patient's response. Remind them that this is kind of like doing a new exercise at the gym. They can have soreness tomorrow, and they may have more soreness even the second day, just like a new gym exercise. Make sure they expect to have some discoloration, especially when it comes to this cupping technique. I might not do both in the same day unless I'd already done one or the other, but you notice the lotion is already there. So just gonna apply a little bit of pressure on that. This I really like for range of motion. Don't have any hair in there. And then from here, we can do some range of motion where we just kind of get this arm out straight here. And then if you can kind of show from that angle over there, we're just going to do a little bit of the open book, closed book. So you're just going to reach across your body like that, and then up and down. I'm going to give you your arm so you can do it yourself. Okay, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And then back down. You feel that tension develop?
Yes.
Sometimes these cups will pop off. Let them know, especially if you're going to leave the room for a few minutes, just let them know if a cup pops off, that's okay. No worries, just let it fall, and I'll get it when I get back in. Tina's actually quite flexible. A lot of people with this particular procedure are going to feel a lot of tension and maybe not even be able to move as far as she is. So just some review of the Graston and cupping. We would tend to do that, you know, for about 5 minutes or so.